Maybe there is something there, he's just not expressing it, but he has never shown any remorse.
Right now on News 8 at 9, Freeze's fate, the sentence handed down to the Davenport man who shot and killed his parents. And a violent carjacking, why police say a stolen car case in Moline is unlike most others they've seen across the Quad Cities.
Live from WQAD, this is News 8 at 9.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Johnny Gendrich. We begin tonight with the fate of Sean Freeze for murdering his parents. The judge tells News 8's Chris Miner life without parole was the appropriate punishment. It's our top story tonight at 9.
21 years old and sentenced to life in prison.
It is the judgment and sentence of the court that you be committed to the custody of the Iowa Department of Correctional Services for the rest of your life.
Sean Freeze said nothing when given the chance in court today, noted by the judge.
Your crime was senseless, violent, and to date I have not really seen any significant sign of remorse.
Freeze was convicted last month of shooting his parents to death. The reason, Kevin and Donna Freeze were putting pressure on him to quit playing video games and do something with his life.
The parents were loving parents and they just wanted the best for you.
Freeze denied shooting his parents with an AR-15 that they bought him as a gift, but a jailhouse phone call offered into evidence at trial proved otherwise.
Dude, you didn't call or text me. What were you thinking, man?
I wasn't thinking at all. We got in a huge argument and I snapped.
After today's sentencing, prosecutors received hugs by Freeze family members. Prosecutor Mike Walton said life in prison, in this case, is appropriate.
This was his own parents, so you'd think that, and maybe there is something there, he's just not expressing it, but he has never shown any remorse or ever voiced remorse. And at the end of the trial, they admitted that he did in fact kill them.
In Davenport, Chris Miner, WQAD News 8.
Freeze will not be eligible for parole, but he can appeal that decision. Big changes are happening for drivers in Moline with work on John Deere Road wrapping up. All traffic heading east on John Deere Road will move to the newly built lanes. The concrete barrier will also be removed, adding extra turn lanes. City leaders say this winter construction pause is perfect timing ahead of Black Friday. They say drivers will now have better access to stores and restaurants.
South Park Mall, and then you get into Lowe's and Walmart and Sam's Club and Menards, Farm and Fleet. All those businesses have been suffering through this for the last couple of years, and this is the biggest good news that I think we can deliver to them for Christmas.
Work will continue come springtime. Crews will build new westbound lanes next. The project is expected to be completed by this time next year. The day started out rainy, then got very breezy and chilly this afternoon. Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist James Zahara is in the Weather Center with the first check of our forecast. Hi, James.
Hey, Johnny, and let's not forget that sunshine. It was so nice to see right around lunchtime, and that's about the time we reached our daytime highs of the day. Look at these numbers, and boy, I tell you, it was really, really nice out there. And then those chilly winds took over and started dropping those temperatures big time. Look at the numbers that we see right now. Widespread low, even some mid-30s out there. Factor in the wind, and it's been feeling like lower 20s out there. Wow. 35 degrees in the Quad Cities after a daytime high of 56. But with that northwest wind now at 21 miles an hour, it actually feels like around 24 degrees. The good news is those winds will begin to ease up as we head later on tonight. Temperatures will continue to fall with likely numbers around the upper 20s. Wind chills will likely be in the upper teens. So we're promising a cold day followed by one more round of wet weather before we get to the weekend. I'll show you where that system is and when it's going to arrive coming up in just a few minutes. Johnny?
Thank you, James. Moline police are looking for 3 men accused of attacking a driver, then hijacking the car. It happened Saturday before midnight in the 3600 block of 25th Street near Fairway. Police say the victims were getting out of their car when 3 armed men walked up and demanded the car. One of the victims was beat several times with a gun. The stolen car was caught on camera up in flames last night in the 1100 block of 15th Street A. That's down the road from Rascals Live. Police say the suspects threw a Molotov cocktail into the car, then took off. Police say the car thefts have happened a lot this year, but they say this is the most serious incident yet.
We've had 81 cars stolen this year, and 80 of those have been, cars left running, cars with keys in the ignition, cars with keys in the center console. None of them have ever been taken by violence. This is the first time where it's been taken by violence, and this is a significant amount of violence.
Police believe the victims were not targeted. It's still under investigation. UnityPoint Health says it could break ties with insurer AmeriGroup. They're having a contract dispute. UnityPoint warns patients if a deal is not reached, AmeriGroup could lose access to UnityPoint facilities. That includes Trinity Hospitals in Bettendorf, Des Moines, and Fort Dodge. AmeriGroup is one of 2 companies privately managing Iowa's Medicaid program right now. The change could affect 54,000 patients across Iowa. Negotiations are still underway. The death of the Rock Island County Building Commission Chairman Richard Fisher is delaying a decision into the future of the Rock Island County Courthouse. Fisher died early this morning at UnityPoint Health Trinity in Rock Island. Tonight, county board members heard from one group that wants the building saved. The Preservation Society says it needs to be listed on the National Register of Historic Places, though. This comes days after Chief Judge Walter Broad requested the old courthouse be torn down once the new one is built.
It is likely eligible for the National Register because of its history, not because of its architecture, because that has been compromised, as we can see when the roof structure is gone.
Preservation Society members say they plan to talk to the board, that is, about the historical value of the building when they discuss it next month.
Weather on the Quad Cities, no doubt.